Washington State, a beautiful place with vast mountainous forests covering it head to toe. It is no surprise the thick, dense forests of the Pacific Northwest hold many victims. Washington is not only a hotspot for Bigfoot hunters, but a very popular tourist destination. With hundreds of state parks to choose from and a never-ending adventures to be had, it is almost impossible for hikers and outdoorsmen to resist coming here. Unfortunately, like Oregon and California, Washington holds an unusual amount of missing people cases from state and national parks. In this episode, I am covering 3 more strange and unsolved missing people cases from Washington's haunting woods. Number 1. Eric Lewis, Mount Rainier National Park. Mount Rainier National Park is a massive park located in Washington State. The park was the 5th ever national park instated by the United States, boasting over 236 acres of preservation. The park's forests and mountains are surrounded by glaciers, which is often shrouded in clouds that dump enormous amounts of rain and snow. It is a beautiful landscape, but undoubtedly a very dangerous one to traverse. Eric Lewis is a 57-year-old experienced mountain climber from Duvall, Washington. On July 1st of 2010, Eric Lewis was reported missing near the peak of Mount Rainier by his climbing buddies. Mount Rainier's peak point is at 14,410 feet, which, if you didn't know, is very high up. According to Lewis's climbing buddies, Eric disappeared after he was somehow separated from the group. They realized he had unclipped from their climbing rope at about 14,000 feet. The ground was ascending the Gibraltar Ledge's route and encountered bad weather, with high wind and visibility as little as 5 feet. This already sounds like the recipe for disaster. Mount Rainier Park officials said that Don Storms was the lead climber, followed by Trevor Lane, and at the end was Eric Lewis. The first 2 climbers had stopped to wait for Lewis to catch up, but after they could not see him, they pulled on the rope only to see a knot. This was odd, because they had just seen Eric a few moments before. They immediately searched the slope below them. They kept making their way to the summit ridge just in case Eric may have made his way up there. After returning to camp, they reported Eric Lewis missing to the Mount Rainier climbing rangers. An experienced team of climbers searched in Nisqually, Icefall, and Gibraltar Chute areas. Air support in the form of helicopters was flown in, as the area's officials thought Lewis might have ended up somewhere lost. Tom Payne and a few other mountain guides climbed the summit late that night. The following day, the search expanded and grew into over 40 volunteers searching for the missing climber. National park climbers and local climbers from experienced and reputable companies all joined in to find Lewis. Air search did reveal Eric's backpack, snow shovel, and climbing harness at around 13,600 feet, and what seemed to be a small snow cave at 13,800 feet. Eric did not have the essential items to survive out there, including the basic need of food and warmth. As of right now, Eric Lewis has never been seen or heard from since. What happened up there? Why did Eric cut himself from the rope? Why was his body never found? It's very unlikely the body would have been covered up to the point of being completely unnoticeable by the snow that quickly, seeing as the search began only a few hours after his disappearance. Maybe we will never know, but this is yet another reminder of the dangers of mountain climbing in extreme climates. Number 2. Bryce, Herta, Olympic National Park. As a kid, going hiking with my friends and family was one of my favorite things to do. I couldn't imagine the thought of hiking a trail with my loved ones and suddenly, one of them just vanishing before our eyes. Unfortunately, this is a reality for the Herta family. Bryce Herda was just 6 years old at the time his family was visiting the She Beach area, southwest of the Macaw Indian Reservation, which is just west of Olympic National Park. Bryce was reported missing by his family early evening of April 9, 1995. Bryce was last seen on the beach when he parted ways with the main group of his family while they went on a separate adjacent trail. They were supposed to meet back up at the beach, but when they returned, Bryce was nowhere to be seen. This seems strange right off the bat to me, as most families don't leave a 6-year-old alone, even more so on a beach. Luckily, Bryce's grandfather was the chief of police at the time he went missing. Resources from all over the local area were quickly deployed to find a missing 6-year-old. Within 45 minutes of Bryce going missing, over 30 searchers, including air support from the Coast Guard, were thoroughly searching the area Bryce was last seen. The search went on into the night hours. With every passing hour, more and more volunteers joined in an effort to find Bryce. Ground and water crews were deployed using special equipment engineered specifically for finding targets. Dog teams and other ground volunteers joined the search the following day. Well over 1,000 people were climbing and combing through the area at any given time. Despite all these resources though, Bryce Herta has never been found. There are many theories behind Bryce's sudden disappearance. His family strongly believes he had been kidnapped. There is no trace whatsoever of Bryce's body, clothing, or belongings. There is also a nearby trail called Ozette Trail that was at the time a homeless community hotspot. Police believe in a different theory though. They think Bryce might have wandered too close to the water and was washed away. But no body was ever washed up or has been found by divers. What happened to Bryce Herta? Why did Bryce's family leave him alone at only 6 years old? Was Bryce the victim of an abduction? Maybe we'll never know. But if you or someone you know has any information or tips on Bryce Herta's whereabouts, they can be reported to Clallam County Sheriff's Department. Number 3. Bryan, Johnston, Olympic National Park. Another case coming from the Olympic National Park. 71-year-old Bryan Lee Johnston was on a 2 or 3 day hiking trip through the Ozette Loop Trail. The Ozette Loop Trail is roughly 9 miles long. The trail is mainly made of planks. The trail takes you out for 3 miles northwest to the Pacific Ocean, then turns south along the beach for 3 miles. Then follows a second plank trail inland for another 3 miles to the trailhead. As many outdoorsmen do. Bryan woke up early on August 22, 2013, and headed out towards his destination. Before leaving though, Bryan did leave a note letting his wife know what and where he was going. Johnston was an experienced hiker and was even an Eagle Scout. Johnston had served in the U.S. Air Force until 1970. So needless to say, Bryan Johnston was no pushover and knew his way around a sticky situation. After leaving for the hike that morning though, no one has ever heard from Bryan since. Johnston's wife reported him as missing to the Olympic National Park Rangers on the 28th of August 2013. Officials found Bryan's truck parked at the Ozette trailhead. It was abandoned, but Rangers found several receipts from local businesses all dated August 22, 2013, the same day he assumably went missing. Officials say it's pretty difficult to lose yourself on the trail, as it is mainly planked. The beach portion of the hike though could be a bit harder for someone who is 71 years of age. Bryan had hiked this trail before, so that just adds to the strange fact that he could have gotten lost. If Bryan was hurt or had some sort of medical emergency, then a body or some sort of sign definitely would have been found. More than 50 park rangers with the help of search units from the Clallam and Pierce County search and rescue teams swept the area endlessly, with no sign of Bryan or his belongings. People don't just vanish. Bryan may have been on the elderly side, but he was experienced and physically capable of staying on the trail. With little to no clues to go off of, the search was called off by officials. Despite the best efforts from the park rangers, volunteers, and officials, the mysterious disappearance of Bryan Johnston remains unsolved. His family strongly believes he did not vanish on purpose. To me, it just seems weird that someone can vanish with no trace at all. No scent trail, no clothing, nothing. Even if wildlife or the elements had something to do with his demise, evidence would certainly be left behind. If you have any information or tips on Bryan's possible whereabouts, please send that information in to the Olympic National Park Rangers. Washington is a state filled with untouched wilderness that is seemingly so mesmerizing to hikers and outdoorsmen. So many people have entered these state and national parks to never be seen or heard from again. What is happening to all of these people out there? Maybe we will never know. But hopefully, by covering these cases, we can help shine a little more light on the answers. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button as it helps push this video to more people, and we definitely could use all the eyes we can get on these cases. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss a new video, as I upload them almost every single day, and all things natural and supernatural. If you could do me a big favor and share this on your Facebook, your Twitter, or any social media you might have, that would be awesome. I would love to try to help find some information on these cases to help officials close them. See you guys soon with another creepy video.